Hello everyone, Jamie Meloni here, host of the all-new That Business Show 2.0, where business becomes show business. Each weekday morning, 7 a.m. to 8 a.m., available on TampaBayRadio.com and then on demand over on YouTube and on iTunes. We talk with different business owners, political and professional leaders each and every morning on the program, and we'd like to hear your story as well. Go to tbsinterview.com and you can learn more about how to get on the program. Again, that's tbsinterview.com. My guest on the program today, Charlene Burke. She's the founder of Search by Burke, and also is going to be hosting an upcoming business retreat on May 5th, 6th, and 7th called the Grow Alliance. You can learn more about that at that website, thegrowalliance.com, and also more about her core business, Search by Burke, at searchbyburke.com. And so we're going to start off talking a little bit about her business and how this leads into the conference that she'll be doing here coming up in May. So Charlene, welcome to the program today.
Oh, thank you, Jamie. It's good to be here.
And so first off, tell us about your core business, Search by Burke, what it is and what it is that you do.
Oh, I would be happy to. I founded Search by Burke in June of 2008 as a business research firm, and it has morphed, if you will, in response to client needs, to providing and offering training to individuals and teams, primarily in the online space. So one of my biggest training pieces is social selling. And then there's marketing strategy and planning, especially for the solo business owner, up to about $4 million a year. And beginning in '07, all the way through to right now, I facilitate mastermind groups for business owners. And it's a variety of mastermind groups, similar to what people might view as peer-to-peer meeting groups, as CEO roundtables, all the way down to and including just basic accountability groups.
Now, I want to talk a little bit about masterminds that you brought that up, because I've considered doing that myself or as a component of Tampa Bay Business Owners, our business network, and I hear different things. So first off, can any group of people get together and form a mastermind? Some people will tell me, well, you got to have somebody that's a leader of the group that knows the topic, or else you got the blind leading the blind. I'm like, well, I don't know if that's really true. I mean, any group of people that come together, the synergy that exists and the mastermind that's formed, it has to have some value, shouldn't it? So does it really matter if there's a core leader to that particular topic? How would you say?
Well, Jamie, based on the description you just gave, which is a wonderful description of what a mastermind group is, I don't believe that it's required that you have to have a leader. So some of the comments that you've shared, that you've gotten from other people, and a lot of similar questions that I've received with regard to, isn't it important that you have the leader who knows everything? Mm-hmm. They are the focus. Well, if they're the focus, it's a mastermind group.
Right.
So it becomes a group coaching. It becomes a consultative type of meeting, which is fantastic and works beautifully for anybody who knows that's what they're getting into. I'm with you. And in that, a mastermind that is a gathering of like-minded individuals meeting for the purpose of helping each other by sharing their experiences, knowledge, expertise, resources, networks to help each other succeed is a beautiful thing.
And what comes out of the masterminds that you have seen? And for people that aren't familiar with that term, a mastermind literally means what it says. It's a mastermind. It's people coming together, and something happens when you got multiple people in a room, because our brains are giving off energy that are picked up by people, and more things come out of those group settings. So talk to us about what goes on inside masterminds.
Oh, I would love to, because that is what makes it so exciting. You had said earlier about the synergy, and we all know that synergy is when we have people coming together, ideas coming together, and forming something bigger. So we become more than the sum of our parts, right?
Right.
Well, that's essentially what a mastermind is. It's if you've ever been with a small group of people, and this is where it works best. I work with groups between 6 and 8. I will go as high as 10, but I prefer 6 to 8 for long-term mastermind group sustainability. Short-term, 90-day accountability type groups, that is what actually what is attached to my event. So it's a little bit different because its primary purpose is accountability. So I want you to think about the last time that you were in a group of people, on purpose or not, because this can come up just out of nowhere, and you presented a problem to this group. Now, it could be for you women, you got together with the girls and you had a girls' night out, and afterwards you were sitting around with a glass of wine and mentioned something about your business, something about your kid, something about school. Gentlemen, I want you to think about the last time you went out with the guys and after the game or after getting together for a cup of coffee, and you were just struck by something somebody said and you just threw out at them a question about the business. You're having a problem with something.
Mm-hmm.
And you suddenly get everybody involved and really focused on solving that particular problem. And this is what happens. John mentions, well, you know what? This is what I did when I was presented with the same thing. Your immediate response is, well, that's not going to work for me.
Right.
But Susie next to John says, well, I did something similar, but that didn't work for me. Instead, I did this. And it starts happening that people are recalling the experience that they had and sharing the solution. And those that didn't have the experience are now taking the solutions that have been thrown out into the middle of the pot, if you will, and adding, well, that sounds fabulous, like it would work, but wouldn't it work better if? What if? And then that's when it gets exciting, is when people start asking, what if? And what if is the ideas pinging back and forth from each other, and you're inspired. And this is what starts, you can feel the energy shift. And what it feels like is this inspiration that you just have to share that, oh, I get it, right? Sometimes it's just a little light bulb. Sometimes it's a huge halogen light bulb, but it is not you, the one who asked the question, but somebody else gets it and says, oh, what if you did this? So the end result is everybody has suddenly participated in an experience they weren't anticipating, but were open to experiencing, walking away better for the experience. And you, who put out a simple question or a problem that you were having didn't have an answer to, now have multiple options available to you to explore when you walk away. Sometimes a solid answer comes through. And it's like, bang, fantastic, I can do that right away. Sometimes it's, wow, let me take a couple more notes. I want to just sit on this for a little bit because I have too many good choices to choose from.
Do you notice, is there a difference between doing masterminds, through like Zoom or Skype in a group versus in-person settings? Because I talk a lot about, the collective unconscious or subconscious that goes on between people when you're in a room together. But if you're connecting via, electronic environments, is that in any way diminished in your experience or enhanced if it's in person? Can you speak about that?
This is interesting because I thought it would be. Having done them in person, and for many years, part of my background includes being a robotic engineer. And so as engineering teams, we would gather together. This is before live streaming. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to age myself quite yet. But we would gather together for troubleshooting sessions and have that same type of experience. So when I took some of the mastermind groups that I was facilitating in 2008, online, and we began with telephone and then Skype and then Google Plus Hangouts and then to Zoom. My initial concern was maybe we need to figure out a way we can all meet once a year, because I don't think this is going to be nearly as effective. And I was wrong. I say that because members talk to me privately about that energy that they get, and that it's not quite the same but it is just as impactful. Having said that, I am moving my masterminds to include an opportunity on a regular basis to everybody meet, and it's that once a year. But the reason isn't so much to meet in a mastermind. You see, what I have learned is that we can still communicate and engage and learn and grow and fully participate in the success of somebody else virtually. We have a relationship, and every member of a mastermind group has that relationship. When you're able to meet in person, what happens is suddenly there's a glue between you and the other person. So now the relationship is sealed and simply taken to a different level. So I am not going to say that one is better than the other, because my experience shows that that's simply not true.
So whether it's on, electronically or in person, you're seeing the same results, the same benefits. What now? You say you host several different masterminds. What different topics do you host, and how do people get involved with them if they just want to become part of these masterminds?
So the masterminds that I run require that you be vetted. And what that means is that we're going to have to meet virtually, and we're going to have a conversation so that I see that you are a good fit for the group and that you bring benefit to the group. And honestly, the primary thing I'm looking for is that you want to serve. So what that means is you are willing to enter the group with your palm down. You're not there to take, you're there to give. Having said that, you can go to my website, searchbyburke.com, and click on the mastermind group. You won't automatically be put into the group. We will go through the conversation. You will understand the parameters of what it means to be a member. I run a variety of groups. The first one is called Get It Done, and it's a 90-day that is an introduction to be a member of a mastermind group, quite honestly. The second one is Grow Your Business. That's somebody's been in business 3 to 5 years. They're making anywhere from $100,000 to $2 million a year. And the primary issues, because they're solo business owners, is how to manage themselves, manage their businesses, bring in fulfillment partners, or outsourcing.
Hold that point. Hold that point right there, Shirley. I got to take a break. We'll explain the other masterminds that she is and her business at searchbyburke.com, and also again talk about the Grow Alliance, a business retreat that she is hosting on May 5th, 6th, and 7th. So stay tuned. When we come back from the break, we'll be talking about that. Currently talking again to Charlene Burke, founder of Search by Burke, on That Business Show 2.0 with Jamie Meloni, where business becomes show business.
Hi, welcome to Yeager's. We just want to take a minute and show you what we're all about. At Yeager's, our primary business is hardwood flooring, although we are remodelers for kitchen, bath, and general construction. We operate a fleet of shop-at-home vans that have all the flooring type products: hardwood flooring, laminate flooring, tiles, stone, what have you. So we're able to come out first with products in our vehicles and take a look at the setting, how the colors will work, and then to be able to come up with some options and ideas for you. If that's not good enough, we have a large distribution center that we inventory product and have a nice display area.
Hi, Jackie Skelton from JR World Travel here. If you travel, you need a licensed professional travel consultant, not a computer. Your licensed professional consultant can get you more for your time and your money. Value for your money and experience, not marketing salesmanship. When you're sick, you call the doctor. When you need legal advice, you call an attorney. So the next time you want to go on any type of travel, call your licensed professional travel consultant who actually represents you. We specialise in group travel, family reunions, weddings, to escorting large groups or making special arrangements for the disabled. Please call 844-249-0190. We are a full-service travel consultancy offering worldwide concierge service. Air, land, sea, rivers, resorts, locally, nationally and internationally. Remember that number, 844-249-0190.
Hey everyone, Jamie Meloni back here, host of That Business Show 2.0, where business becomes show business. Having a great discussion on masterminds and how they can improve your business with Charlene Burke, founder of Search by Burke. Learn more at searchbyburke.com, and Burke spelled B-U-R-K-E. Again, searchbyburke.com. And Charlene, you're talking about the two masterminds that you host, leading into that third one there as we hit the break. Talk about this third mastermind group for us, please.
Oh, I'd be happy to. So the third mastermind group is taking it to the next level. And it's really for the business owner who may have staff and employees. Usually the ones that are part of this group, and my experience in those groups, have been 5 to 10 employees. I only say that usually because we did have a fella in who was a 25-year veteran owner of a manufacturing facility that got a lot of value out of the group. It's more along the lines of the type of issues that these people address are human resources. They are budgetary. They are operational, where there's multiple moving components involved. And that's where I'm very careful to make sure that the members come in with specific types of experiences. So this in particular isn't really one of all manufacturers. It is one that includes somebody from the law side, somebody from the manufacturing, somebody from sales, somebody from marketing, so that they can really benefit from each other on growing their businesses by being able to tap into that expertise each one brings to the group.
Now, you have a fourth mastermind that's being developed. It's going to be a huge component of your upcoming business retreat, the Grow Alliance, and you can learn more about the retreat at that website, thegrowalliance.com, being held May 5th, 6th, and 7th at the Plantation at Crystal River. So talk to us about this mastermind, and also let's talk about this conference.
Oh, I would love to. One of the things that I've noticed since attending live events, and that can be workshops, conferences, one day long, half days, weekends, it doesn't matter, is that there's very little follow-up. So I get very, very excited when I'm on site involved in the event. And about 3 weeks later, I would tell you it was an awesome event, but couldn't quite pinpoint exactly what I've been able to put to use. And definitely after 90 days, it's like, oh yeah, it was a great event. I'm happy to go. I think I have the information in my cupboard back here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to have to go again so that I can learn how to put to use what I was supposed to learn at the last one. So what I've decided is that I can take my experience and expertise in facilitating mastermind groups and attach it to my live event. So the business retreat is small. It's 25 people. And those people will experience personal growth. They will learn things from business owners that they're familiar with. They will be group discussions, not calling them masterminding while on site, although it can happen. But automatically attached to it is a membership into a 90-day mastermind, so that whatever the individual has decided that they want to focus on for the next 90 days out of that business retreat, the mastermind is going to help them to stay on track and to stay focused. Where it really becomes beneficial is after about 4 weeks, maybe into 6. By this time, the other group members are helping you to approach your obstacles, give you resources to get past those obstacles, brainstorm maybe a different way to achieve what you had decided you wanted to achieve. And you're not stuck. You haven't just hit a wall and said, well, I'll just have to wait until the next retreat. Or I will have to wait until I have an opportunity to follow up with one of the presenters who may or may not have time. You won't have to worry about that. You're going to be in a room full of people over the weekend that you're getting to know. And then over the next 90 days, you already know these people.
Right.
So now you're able to help each other to achieve that which you had decided you wanted to.
Tell the audience about some of the speakers that is going to be at the Grow Alliance.
Oh, so I'm not calling them speakers. This is what I'm calling them, is presenting
presenters.
Experts.
Okay.
All right. And this is why. They have agreed to stay the entire weekend. So from Friday, from 5 o'clock until Sunday, until 1 o'clock. They are there on site. Their spot, space, presentation time is theirs, followed by a group discussion that they participate in, and they'll be available the entire weekend to answer questions that may arise, which always happens, right?
Right.
6 hours later, you're at dinner time and you're like, oh, Dave, you said this. Now I realize what you meant, and have a conversation. He will be available. So who's Dave? We have Dave Kaufman, Empowering Small Biz, and you know him.
Yep.
He is, I believe he's a member of TBBO.
He's a TBBO member, a radio show host. I've been on his show. He's been on my show a few times. So regular listeners of this program probably say, I remember Dave Kaufman. He's been on a couple times.
Well, he's going to be with us, and he's looking forward to it. We've been talking privately, and he's mentioned it a couple of times on his own Facebook Lives. He's up in northern Indiana. He's down in southern Indiana. He's all over the place, isn't he?
Yeah, he carries the Ziglar certification, where he's authorized to speak and promote the Zig Ziglar training and stuff. So one of the things that sets him apart.
Then it's one of the things that I was drawn to with him, because he has that attitude. And I know you have this too. I've seen you at work, where if you help enough people get what they want, you get what you want. So it's a servant attitude. And that's what he comes to the retreat with. So we have Dave, and he's going to be giving the best version of what he has to offer at the retreat. The second person that I know everybody could be familiar with is Nick Snap. He is a productivity guy. If you went to PodFest not too long ago, you saw Nick at PodFest. He is all about productivity. But he has little twists to what he offers. And his focus will be helping you to identify some areas that you could really improve on personally and in your business when it comes to being more productive, efficient, and ultimately increase your sales.
Nick, a good friend of mine, also a TBBO member. Nick has an engineering background. He and I both originated from Mosaic, him in the engineering department, myself in the laboratory testing the products. But we didn't cross paths directly at the same time, but we both came out of Mosaic. And so Nick, a great guy, productivity being the backbone of what he does, and I'm sure he's going to offer your attendees a tremendous amount of value. So you got Dave Kaufman, Nick Snap, other presenters?
We have Gloria Rand from Orlando. She has a broadcasting background, and what she's going to be focusing on for that weekend is helping you to be a leader that your clients want to follow. So it's a way, and she is so good. She's considered an internet marketing expert. In reality, when we break that down, what she's very good at is helping you to see how you can put your best foot forward so that you really are an authority and a leader, so that your clients are attracted to that and your potential clients are attracted. So it's all about bringing the best out of yourself to showcase online.
Now, these events going on again, May 5th, 6th, and 7th, these are 3 full days, I'm assuming?
These are, well, we've got to be careful. I'm the engineer, so I'm really detail oriented. It begins at 5 o'clock on Friday and ends at 1 o'clock on Sunday.
Okay.
Food is included, by the way.
All right. Go ahead.
Number 4, our life coach, if you will. She's actually a success and mindset coach. She's a PhD candidate. She's a psychotherapist, has a private practice. Her name is Kristen Lloyd-Musa. She's out of the Atlanta area and was so excited when I told her the overall, I want this to be the best experience possible for the retreat attendee. It's not about us, it's about them. She was all over it. What her specialty is, and what she is bringing to you, the attendee, is clarity. And she will start the first session on Friday evening, getting you focused for the weekend and prepared so that by the end of the weekend, you'll have real clarity about the goals for yourself and your business, so that moving forward just makes sense. You know what you're moving towards. And you can find her online at transformpath.com, or again, Kristen Lloyd-Musa, Moussa. I've met every one of these personally. I'm traveling back and forth to the Florida and Atlanta area, spending time. Heck, I just spent 3 or 4 days with Kristen, and total joy to be around. I was better for the experience. Was down in the Tampa area and spent time with Dave and Nick and Gloria. And we're all excited about this weekend coming up.
Now we got about 2 minutes left. How do people register? And talk to us a little about the price or the cost.
Sure. So they can go to thegrowalliance.com. Just simply scroll down to the bottom and register and pay. We have an early bird pricing, say $50 up until April 1st for $647. Then you will be given information on how to contact the plantation to get the special group rate that I've got set up with them so that you can make your own reservations, because many people are talking about coming in before and staying late. So I'm allowing you to make your own hotel reservations. Cost is $647 for the entire weekend to spend with these people who, in actuality, have their own pricing ranges from $250 to $1,000 an hour. So if we were talking the low end of spending up to 20 hours over a weekend, gotta figure you're going to sleep sometimes, you would pay $5,000 just to be with these 4 people. Then we have food. And then the 90-day mastermind. So in all totality, the weekend should cost, and somebody confirmed with me that they were surprised it wasn't, about $5,600.
Oh, wow.
I said, no, it doesn't need to be, because we are there to serve, and we are there to make sure the retreatant has what they need so that we can serve and be better for it.
Well, we got hopefully some people interested that have been listening or viewing. Charlene Burke, founder of Search by Burke, and also hosting the Grow Alliance, a business retreat on May 5th, 6th, and 7th. People can register at thegrowalliance.com. So Charlene, a great discussion. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Oh, thank you, Jamie. The only thing that can make it better is if I was there in person in Tampa Bay, Florida with you.
Sounds good. Everybody, you've been listening to That Business Show 2.0 with Jamie Meloni, where business becomes show business.
Hi, welcome to Yeager's. We just want to take a minute and show you what we're all about. At Yeager's, our primary business is hardwood flooring, although we are remodelers for kitchen, bath, and general construction. We operate a fleet of shop-at-home vans that have all the flooring-type products, hardwood flooring, laminate flooring, tiles, stone, what have you. So we're able to come out first with products in our vehicles and take a look at the setting, how the colors will work, and then to be able to come up with some options and ideas for you. If that's not good enough, we have a large distribution center that we inventory product and have a nice display area.
Hello everyone, Jamie Meloni here, host of That Business Show 2.0, where business becomes show business. Each morning talking with different business owners, entrepreneurs, political and community leaders. We'd love to hear your story as well. Visit tbsinterview.com and you can learn how to come on to the program. All shows available on demand on iTunes. We're there both as a podcast and a video cast. So if you're used to watching the videos each morning, whether it's on Tampa Bay Radio or on WeBeam TV or in our Facebook group, That Business Network. We also make the shows available on demand via a video cast on iTunes, something that more and more podcasters are beginning to delve into. And in my opinion, the future of podcasting will incorporate much more video. And so all videos in high definition and subscribable to That Business Show 2.0 videocast. Simply type in videocast after That Business Show 2.0 to look us up on iTunes, and also available on demand on our YouTube channel, thatyoutubechannel.com. Simple URL to find us. Go to thatyoutubechannel.com. Our guest on today's program is Rocky Romanella. He is a senior partner with 360 Management Services, also an accomplished speaker and author of the book, Tighten the Lug Nuts, The Principles of Balanced Leadership. So we're going to talk about leadership and his path through entrepreneurship and also some of the lessons from this book today. So Rocky, welcome to the program today.
Hey, Jamie, thank you very much for having me, and I look forward to talking to you and your audience this
morning. Absolutely. So first, give us your background. Tell us about your life as a youngster and through business and how you got to where you are today.
Well, thank you very much for asking. So, simple guy. I grew up in New Jersey, born in Manhattan, but my dad came from Italy and decided one day we're going to the country. So he said, we're moving to New Jersey. So I guess in those days, New Jersey for him was the country. So I grew up in town in New Jersey, Woodbridge, New Jersey, great family. And the book in many ways is a wonderful way for me to say thank you to my dad for the values and the things that he instilled in me as a young child growing up. I grew up in New Jersey, attended St. John's University. Quite a few of us at the time needed to make a little bit of money, and we weren't going to make any money playing baseball in those days, and I wasn't really that good compared to some of my friends. And so a good friend of mine, Mike Coffey, gets a job at UPS unloading trailers, and so comes back to school and says, hey, the place is a great place to work, and part-time job. So we all headed over to UPS, and so I worked my way through college at UPS, paid my way through St. John's University, a commuter college, unloading trailers, loading, unloading trailers, became a part-time supervisor, and then driver. And then I worked my way up through UPS. I mean, I was very fortunate that UPS had a promotion from within policy, which allowed us to grow and develop and take on new challenges. And people always ask me, I moved 9 times with UPS across the country in various different jobs and opportunities. And people always said, did you think you would move that much? And frankly, Jamie, no. I thought I would stay growing up in New Jersey and with my friends. But what happened was when I started the job, my dad told me something that stuck with me throughout my whole life and career, and that was when I was telling him about the job that I was going to interview with at UPS and apply for the part-time job. He said to me 2 things. He said, whatever they ask you to do, say yes. And the second thing he said is, say thank you.
That's a great point right there. That's a great tip because so many people today complain, they question, they second guess. That's an excellent tip right there in and of itself right there. Say yes and say thank you for somebody who's giving you a job.
Yeah, it was somebody, and then he said to me, learn your job and then learn some more. So just when you think you might know it all, don't think you do. Look around. There's probably someone that might know a little more than you do. And so learn your job and learn some more. And so I took those throughout my whole career, and that, whatever I did, I was going to learn the job as best I could, whatever it was, whether it was in sports or whether it was in a job. And then, as a parent, learn as much, because let's face it, that's probably the scariest job you take on. We have 4 beautiful kids, but, there's no training for it. And so you say to yourself, okay, we're going to have to do the best we can. We're going to, kind of learn from ourselves and those around us and those before us and those that are other parents, and try to find out what good looks like as a parent and do the best you can, and then learn some more. What are the other things you can do, and what are the other, opportunities out there for you to learn? So I thought that was just great advice. And then the little bit of difference in my UPS career versus many of my friends and partners who I worked with for 36 years, I spent 36 years at UPS, is that I was when opportunities came, as I said before, Jamie, and I said yes and thank you. So opportunities were presented to me. We purchased as a company the franchisor, mailboxes, et cetera, and then rebranded it to the UPS store. I had the opportunity to work with that group and that was a responsibility I had, was to manage that piece of the business. And so I worked with some great entrepreneurs, great people. The UPS Store Network is just a wonderful network with great business owners. And the thing that makes the UPS Store Network a unique network is it's 100% franchisee owned. So they're all independent business owners, and they are some of the finest people you'll meet in your life.
You know, UPS is I was going to say UPS is just a great model of a professionally run organization at the highest level. I did a research paper in my strategic business course in college, and that was the capstone course where you had to put like a whole semester of effort into this paper, and I selected UPS, and it became like a 40-page report. But UPS really stands out in their policies, procedures, and above all else, how they treat their employees.
Well, I think it starts with absolutely. It starts with the values. It starts with culture. You know, it was great to work in a place where your values, your culture, the integrity that you were brought up with as a child in my family, then was reinforced in a major corporation like UPS. I mean, you always did the right things. You cared about your people. You did the little things, right? We always say the sum of many little things done well. So I think that was a great reinforcement for me. And let's face it, you stay at a company for 36 years. I didn't agree with everything that happened at UPS. I didn't disagree enough to leave. And that's what people, I think, sometimes miss, is that you're not going to agree with everything. But if they're not asking you to violate a policy, not asking you to break a law, not asking you to violate your integrity, well, then you know what? There's no perfect job out there. Even if I tell people all the time, even as a CEO, you work for someone, the board and the shareholders.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
So, the fact that you just think you're going to do whatever you want to do whenever you want to do it just doesn't happen. I mean, there's no place out there like that, right? You answer to someone. Even if you own your own business in a remote part of the world, well, don't you answer to the land? Don't you don't have the right to just do what you want to the land or the resources. So you answer to someone or something at some time. And so I think that understanding that and feeling like you belong in a place where your values are respected and they have integrity, that's what you're really looking for. And so I think that was the wonderful part about working at UPS. And then the second thing that made it a little bit unique for me was we went through a series of acquisitions and built what is today UPS Supply Chain Solutions. And I was very fortunate to have the opportunity to work during that time and connect those companies together to build just a world-class supply chain company. And I had this side of the world, Canada, U.S., Latin America, South America, Mexico, and another partner had Asia and Europe. And so with that, I really got a chance to learn the supply chain side of the business and manage different people, different cultures, different parts of the world. So very, very enjoyable for me. So those two experiences really gave me a chance to meet different people, a very diverse group of people, and I just loved it. I mean, the energy and enthusiasm that those individuals exhibited and helped me with just was fantastic.
Yeah,
I retired from UPS. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. You retired, go ahead.
Yeah, I retired from UPS, natural age of 55, and then realized following my wife around ShopRite wasn't a very good idea. And I can tell you what is not value added. When you get a list and go to the supermarket and you bring back more things, I think it's, hey, value add. She says, what'd you think, I forgot something? So I said, this isn't going to work out. So I was contacted for an opportunity to be a CEO and board member of a telecom company where we did cell phone upgrades, cell tower upgrades, as well as installation of cable and DirecTV. Had that company for 3.5 years, and then that company was sold, and then decided, do I want to retire again? And I said, you know what, I want to, to me, leave a legacy, right? I think that's what really defines great leadership, is a place a little bit better after your time there. Do you make things better? And for me, the book was an opportunity to leave a little bit of a legacy, to, kind of a way to say thank you to my dad and my wife, who's been just a fantastic partner and really such a big influence in my adult life. And I thought, well, in this book, if I could, find a way to gratefully and respectfully thank them for this excellent career and this wonderful life we've put together, Debbie and I. And then if in this book there's an opportunity for people to learn some things, maybe reinforce some of the things that they do, what they're doing are right, they're good. And then, if they can get something out of it, I think that would be a wonderful way to leave something a little bit better behind. So,
Is the book written leadership on a professional level or a personal, or is it a mixture of just leadership throughout your entire life?
It's a mixture of both, because I believe leadership is something that we all have concerns about, and at some point or another we are. I think sometimes what happens, Jamie, is people get caught up in titles. They say, well, you're a leader because you're a CEO or you have a title of manager. Leadership is a concept that's not only reserved for certain people with titles, but leadership it's people in business, it's people in government organizations, it's the person in charge of the PTO. Teachers. To me, teachers are some of the greatest leaders we have. They're influencing, they're mentoring, they're touching the minds of the next generation. So I think that at some point or another, we're all leaders in one way, shape, or form. And so I wrote the book with the thought process that there are concepts and thoughts in the book that help you both in your personal and professional life, and I think those two are always together, right? When people say, well, the way I am at work isn't the way I am at home, that's sort of nobody can turn things off. I don't think that succinctly. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
If you're a good person, you're a good person, right?
All right, let's take a break here. We'll currently talk with Rocky Romanella. He is a senior partner with 360 Management Services and also author of the book, Tighten the Lug Nuts, The Principles of Balanced Leadership. And when we come back from the break, we're going to talk about what those principles are. This book follows a fictional character named Joe Scafone, and we're going to learn about him when we come back from the break. You're listening to That Business Show 2.0 with Jamie Meloni, where business becomes show business.
Hi, welcome to Yeagers. We just want to take a minute and show you what we're all about. At Yeagers, our primary business is hardwood flooring, although we are remodelers for kitchen, bath, and general construction. We operate a fleet of shop-at-home vans that have all the flooring-type products, hardwood flooring, laminate flooring, tiles, stone, what have you. So we're able to come out first with products in our vehicles and take a look at the setting, how the colors will work, and then to be able to come up with some options and ideas for you. If that's not good enough, we have a large distribution center that we inventory product and have a nice display area.
Hi, Jackie Skelton from JR World Travel here. If you travel, you need a licensed professional travel consultant, not a computer. Your licensed professional consultant can get you more for your time and your money. Value for your money and experience, not marketing salesmanship. When you're sick, you call the doctor. When you need legal advice, you call an attorney. So the next time you want to go on any type of travel, call your licensed professional travel consultant who actually represents you. We specialise in group travel, family reunions, weddings, to escorting large groups or making special arrangements for the disabled. Please call 844-249-0190. We are a full-service travel consultancy offering worldwide concierge service. Air, land, sea, rivers, resorts, locally, nationally and internationally. Remember that number, 844-249-0190.
Hey everyone, Jamie Meloni back here, host of That Business Show 2.0, where business becomes show business. Talking with Rocky Romanella today, senior partner with 360 Management Services, also a speaker and accomplished author, and author of the book, Tighten the Lug Nuts, The Principles of Balanced Leadership. So Rocky, you shared a great story about your years at UPS, what that taught you, what also your family life taught you with regard to leadership. And so now you've written this book. And so talk to us about some of the stories, some of the takeaways, some of the principles of leadership that is found in this book.
Well, thanks, Jamie. Well, the book is written in a story form because I never wanted to preach to people, and I would sit at meetings, and I never liked that feeling when someone presented you with an idea where you would say, well, you know what, I think I would do it differently, or maybe you should do it differently, or I'm not sure I think that's a good idea. And so throughout my career, this fictional character, Joe Scafone, was the way for me to easily ask that question. So I would sit at a meeting and say, do you think Joe would do that? Or what would Joe do? And so it just became an easier way for me to ask the questions and to not cut off dialogue or not make people feel like I thought their idea wasn't a good idea. It was just that I wanted them to maybe look at it differently, or I always say, don't stop at the first right answer. Challenge yourself to maybe go past that answer. And so Joe Scafone became sort of the name associated with Rocky Romanello throughout his career. People, in fact, Jamie, people would come to meetings and say to me, "Hey, I already covered this with Joe." You know, I'd be like, "All right, well, let me hear it then." So I wrote the book with Joe Scafone as the character, and Joe is traveling home on his last business trip after a long career, and he's sort of reminiscing and thinking about that career, and throughout that plane ride, and he lands the plane and some things as he's home now, getting settled on retirement. You know, he thinks through his career and some of the lessons learned, the people that he's been able to touch, and the people that have touched him and mentored him along the way. And these become the lessons throughout the book. The principle of the book is based on balanced leadership. I've always felt like balance is so important in everything you do in life, that people and companies absolutely hurt themselves when they start to go from one extreme to the other. You know, the old saying, student body left, student body right. Nothing sends organizations and people into a tailspin more than not really quite sure where are we going. One day we're doing it this way, one day we're doing it that way. And not only does it send confusion, you know, the early adopters become pinballs, right? Because the early adopters are so excited they want to do what you want, and so they're bouncing around trying to be the first ones to do things. And every couple of weeks you're changing something, and then the people in the middle just say, "Hey, wait a minute, he's going to change his mind anyway," right? So then that doesn't do you any good. You never get anything done. And then those few percent that's the malcontents just say, "Hey, we're not doing anything."
Right.
So it really sends havoc to the organization. So to me, this concept of balanced leadership is so important, and I believe there's three key constituents in this balanced leadership philosophy or balanced leadership process that I've used, and I think it's a good opportunity for other people to use it as they're making decisions and they're viewing situations, problems, or maybe new strategies.
Share this with us. The three,
thinking like a customer.
you said the three key constituents there. Share those with us.
Yeah, the three key constituents are your customers, your people, your share owners, or stakeholders, right? And so in everything you do, I say you want to think like a customer, make sure your people feel like valued individuals, and then act like an owner. So as you're making your decisions, you keep those three constituents in mind, and then that allows you to make a more balanced decision and make sure that all three are represented. You know, and when you're thinking like a customer quickly, I mean, you think about, well, who is the customer? Are we solving for an end customer? Are we solving for a distributor in between? Are we solving for a vendor? Who is the customer that we're solving for? And because once you understand that, then you can put together metrics that say, well, did we hit the mark then? I mean, if I'm solving for an end user customer, the metrics may be different. So, for example, if I'm having a healthcare solution that I'm building, if I'm building the solution for the patient, well, then the metrics for the patient has to be a much higher standard than it would be, for example, if I'm solving for one of the drug company or drug distributors like Rite Aid, CVS, Walgreens, someone like that. I mean, 99% on time to CVS, Walgreens, or Rite Aid may be a good metric, but to a patient, you don't want to be the one patient that didn't get their drug.
Right.
So that standard may be 100. So by understanding who your customer is and thinking like them and understanding what keeps them up awake at night, what's important to them, what good looks like, it allows you to put together metrics that really can really fulfill what the aspirations and what were the goals of what you were trying to build for that customer. And then I say, I also talk about feeling like a valued individual. In the organization, do your people feel like they're valued? Are they part of the solution, or do you view them as part of the problem, right? If I'm working for you, do I feel like my thoughts and ideas matter, right? Can I be a thought leader inside my company? If I have a good idea, if I see, for example, we just put together this new product or service, and I think there's a way for us to improve that, or maybe something that we could do differently, do I feel comfortable enough to walk in your office and say, hey, this has been great, I understand what we're trying to do, but what if we did this, right? Do I have the ability to build relationships inside the organization as well as with the customers we do business with and the vendors we do business with, right? Is safety a core value inside our company? Or is it more important about productivity but not as important about do I do it safely, and do I leave in the morning with all my body parts in place, but I come home with an injury, and does anybody really care about that, right?
So what happens to Joe in the book? Is there a great aha moment in the book that Joe realizes or learns, or what's the takeaway from the book towards the end?
Well, the takeaway of the book at the end is that it's all about legacy. And when you look back at your career, the way to define whether you were a good person, a good leader, is did you leave it a little better place? It's not the plaques that are on your wall. It's not the trophies you received. It's not the accolades you received or the titles you've gotten to. Are people a little bit better? Have you mentored people along the way? Does somebody sit there someday saying, you know what, boy, I'm really glad I worked for Rocky Romanello or Jamie? If they don't, then your success is only in your mind. It's not in the minds of the people that you touched. And so the aha moment for Joe is, was he really a good leader, and did he really leave it a better place? And so throughout the book, as he's reminiscing and he's thinking and he's having these leadership lessons out there, he starts to realize that really it is all about leadership. And certainly at the end, he talks about the legacy that's left behind, and you know what, maybe he wasn't such a bad leader.
How has the writing this book helped you in your new business here with 360 Management Services? Has it helped you kind of line out your own goals and motivations, and also help you develop even further as a leader?
Yeah, it's been a fun, the book was a fun, just a fun thing to do, and scary at first to do, but it really does help because it grounds you again, right? When you lay it all out, the principles and the thoughts and the lessons are really very, very good. I mean, and I don't say that in a boastful way. So as I'm just saying, I'm thinking, well, I hope Jamie doesn't think I'm in here bragging, but they really are. They're laid out, right? And so you understand that, for example, when we started 360, right, we've got to have values and ethics, right? And one of the things I always say is the three things you have to know about yourself or about your business is you have to know who you are, what you stand for, and what you will not compromise. And that's what gets people and businesses in trouble when they don't define that, and they clearly don't understand that third one. What will you not compromise, right? In business, it may be safety. Certainly in life, it's integrity and values. And so as we laid out our business, as we said, there are certain customers we want to work with. There's certain people we want to work with. And when some customer asks us to do something that may be right on the line, the answer is going to be no. Or, for example, we know what we know. And so as consultants or in the management training side of the world, but especially on the consulting side, right, if that's not your area of expertise and you can't help that customer, you're better off saying, you know what, Jamie, I'd really like to help you, but what you need is this person to help you.
Right. Now we talk a lot in this program also about what it means to be an author, and I was going to ask you how the book has helped just your business in general. We preach a lot in this program. Differentiation, and writing a book is just a great way to do that. How would you advise along those lines?
Well, the public speaking side or the keynote speaking side, the book has been excellent, right? It's amazing how the difference in the number of people that would love to talk to you or have you address their groups changes dramatically by being the author of a book. So I think that and there's a credibility that comes with it that, I view me as being me, and I'm thinking I'm the same guy I was before the book came out, but the reality is, and you know it, and I know from being at different seminars and conventions and things like that, you do listen a little bit more intently when someone has authored a book for a couple reasons. But most of all, is they've taken the time to sit down and write and articulate their thoughts and visions. And that's a difficult thing for many people to do. So the fact that you've accomplished that, I think, gives you great credibility. It helps you out. It also, I will tell you, gives you confidence.
Absolutely.
I know it sounds a little crazy, but it does really give you confidence because, you've laid it out. And for me, it was great because, I was able to draw upon actual either lessons or actual events that took place in my career. So from that perspective, it gives you great credibility because when someone asks you a question, well, I have this situation, how does it work? Or, Jamie, that, everybody can talk about the wonderful things that happens, but in a career and in a life, it's not all rosy, right? You can't let your highs get too highs and your lows get too lows.
Right.
Well, you have to manage through those difficult times. And, in the book, you talk a little bit about some of those difficulties, but more importantly, it gives you credibility as a person, as a leader, to say, look, it's not always going to be a perfect day. Things don't always go the way you think it's going to go. And how you manage through those difficulties is really what defines you as a person, as a leader, right? Because everybody can be happy, slamming the ball down once you scored a touchdown.
Yep.
But it's when, it's after the fumble, what do you do, right? It's after the difficulties, what do you do? And I think that's what defines a person and defines their character and gives them the credibility to talk through the difficulties.
Now we got to wrap up. Rocky Romanella, senior partner of 360 Management Services, speaker, and again, author of the book, Tighten the Lug Nuts. Availability real quick. Rocky, where can people pick up the book?
Online at Amazon and Barnes & Noble. You can download the Kindle. So those are the two places you can get it right now. And I'd love for people to read it. And on our website, www.3 and then the word 60 managementservices.com. I love to hear your comments or tell me what your favorite story is. And I will say real quickly, if I can, Jamie, that so far the thing that I've enjoyed the most is on the comments and back is that people have emailed me or written me back and said to me, once I put the book down and the first thing I did was call my dad. Or my dad's passed, but I thought about my conversations with my dad. So, I didn't write the book with that thought. I wrote the book, as I said before, as sort of a grateful, respectful way of to thank my dad and my wife. But the fact that people would put the book down and call their dad or talk to their parents again or have conversations with their dad or think about them now that they've passed has been an outstanding unintended consequence.
Right.
And I got to tell you, it really makes me feel well.
All right. Rocky Romanella, again, thank you so much for being with us today. And you can pick up the book and learn more. The number 360managementservices.com, 360managementservices.com. So, Rocky, thank you so much. And thank you to all the listeners and viewers for listening again to That Business Show 2.0 with Jamie Meloni, where business becomes show business.